Hello everyone and welcome back to 7 Days Die and welcome back to the Pit and Pill Trap. So let's jump down to the pit and straw bales. So I've done a little bit of preparation, I've done a little bit of planning. I put the straw bales down and built a ladder in and out of the course. And what we're going to do now is we're going to start work on the actual pit and pillar trap. It's beginning of day 6 and we kind of have to get our pit and pillar trap sort of up and running in time for day 7. Now we do have the whole of day 6 and the whole of day 7 to build it, so it's not too bad. So a little bit more mining, a little bit more digging out, and we're going to start laying down the sort of foundations of our pit and pillar trap. So for those who don't know what the pit and pillar trap is, the pit and pillar trap is a long fall. Zombies do indeed take fall damage after the first 4 blocks. And most basic zombies can't survive a fall beyond 30 blocks. Some basic zombies will die at 20 blocks. Advanced zombies, things like the cops and things, will die between 40 and 70 blocks fall. However, even if something survives a fall, it is going to take damage. Now, I've built some scrap iron spikes, and I'm going to upgrade them to grade 2 scrap iron spikes. I think I need steel to upgrade these to the next level. Yeah, steel. But each level does more damage, and when they fall, they're going to land on spikes. The spikes won't do damage, bonus damage to them. Falling on the spikes doesn't do bonus damage. But the moment they land on the spikes, they're going to start taking additional damage, because they're going to be touching the tops of the spikes, and that means they're going to be taking trap damage. So the moment they land, they're going to be taking additional trap damage from sort of standing on top of spikes. So we have a situation where things are going to take damage from falling, probably going to die. Then things are going to take damage from standing on top of the spikes. That's going to increase the chance of them dying if they have survived. And then we're also going to add in a little bit of spice by having pillars. Now, earlier on in the series, I don't know if I actually will have it on video, but I basically set up these pillars to build. They are 50 pillars and they're made of adobe. Now the reason I went for adobe 50 is 50 pillars are the size of pillar that you need to go with, whether you're going with wood 50 or you're going with cobble 50, you're going with rebar 50 or you're going with adobe 50. The reason I've gone with adobe is it's got slightly less endurance than cobblestone, but all you need to build adobe, or all you need to repair adobe I should say, is clay and sand. You need nothing special to repair adobe. You don't need to make cobblestone rocks. You don't need to have metal. You don't need to have cobblestone, and it's got a lot more durability than wood. Wood 50 pillars, even upgraded into scrap, you're looking at 100, 200, and then 300 for their durability levels. So even with all three together, you've only got 600 durability. With adobe pillars, you've got 1000 durability base. They are classified as a stone item, so they're quite difficult for zombies to break. And they are repairable by clay and sand, and you can have a lot of clay and sand in your inventory in one go. And one swipe with a claw hammer will repair 250 points of durability for a single piece of clay and a single piece of sand. This makes them extremely cheap to repair. Extremely cheap to repair. So I tend to go for adobe pillars. I don't even bother upgrading them to concrete until I have a really good concrete manufactory. I'm talking like 4 concrete mixers making concrete and a couple of forges making the cement to make the concrete. I don't bother with concrete pillars until I have lots and lots of concrete, because they're so easy to repair and so quick to repair. The pit and pillar trap means that most things are going to die before they hit the ground anyway, so you're not going to have a huge amount of damage to your pillars, and your pillars are going to be perfectly sort of safe and fine at adobe level until day 42 probably. You're probably going to be fine up until about day 42 using adobe pillars, because you can repair out faster than things can damage them. The main risk with adobe pillars is getting a cop zombie. And a cop zombie exploding and taking out things. Unfortunately, cop zombies do just explode and do thousands of damage to everything around them if you don't kill them fast enough. If you have a 50 block drop and you're reasonably quick with a weapon, then usually you'll be able to kill cop zombies before they explode. If you do happen to be too slow and a cop zombie explodes, then it's going to take out a chunk of your pit trap. The advantage you have, and by that level, by that day, by the time you have cop zombies spawning, which is usually day 35, you're going to get cop zombies in hordes unless you set up in a city. By the time you have cop zombies spawning, you should really have set up a fallback from your pit and pillar trap. So my fallback would probably be partway along my escape tunnel, and it would be a location where I can escape. So I'm going to cover up my trap, and I'm going to start building pillars. I'm going to leave the corners empty. The corners will need pillars eventually, but I'm going to leave the corners empty for now, because if I do fall into the pit and pillar trap, the corners are a place where I can escape, because the gap between the two corner pillars is big enough for someone to walk through, and that includes zombies. A little bit of a misplacement there, but that's fine. Adobe pillars only take a little while to build. They're not ridiculously long building time. And I want a nice high space. Three high should be enough. I'm going to run out of adobe pillars here. 3 high should be enough. All the way around, and I will need to put in the corner pillars in the end, which is why I'm going to have to make some more adobe pillars. But now we're going to build up the walls. If you dig a 3x3, and it would be quicker to dig a 3x3, then you don't have to build walls. Personally, I prefer a slightly larger trap because it adds an element of controllability to the environment around. Kind of sort of did a weird little jump thing there. But as you can see, I can sort of slip through those corners, and zombies can slip through those corners, so you do need some additional adobe pillars. Sand and clay, not expensive. Sand is really easy to dig up from the gravel pits or from the desert, and or from the gravel walkways. And adobe, really easy, or sorry, clay, really easy to get hold of from any of the brown splodges on the map. Usually found underneath the digging rocks and things like that. Now, I'm going to have to go and fetch some more wood, but that's just going to be me cutting down some trees, so I'll cut back in when we are a little bit further along with our pit trap. So, wood gathered and pit trap started. You can see that basically I'm just following a very basic sequence of put down frames, jump up, put down a frame underneath myself, and then reinforce frames with wood. You don't have to worry too much about the frames at the sides on the fall, because once zombies are falling, they're only going to be able to get maybe one random swipe in at a random block. And they need to dig through 2 blocks entirely to actually make it non-functional. So you don't have to worry too much about the sides. You don't have to reinforce them up to a high level. The ones at the top and the bottom you do have to worry about, because they are going to take damage, because zombies are going to take swings while they're prepping. Now, I don't have a deep enough pit to do what pit and pillar trap to do what I would normally do, which is basically what I call my Snarlack pit entrance, which is a sloped entrance leading down into the pit. So instead I'm going to try and create a false sloped entrance at the top later on, which you'll see. But as you can see, I'm just building up wood frames, laying down wood frames, and then sort of filling them in. You can see that the way I've set this up is I'm 1 block away from my ladder. That's intentional. The idea is that I can just put a frame down and hop across to my ladder at any point when I need to get in and out, and that makes it a lot safer for me to get in and out of the pit and pillar trap without worrying too much about where and when I need to leave. I can just hop across onto my ladder at any point, because right now I'm high enough up that if I was to fall, I would die. Sorry about that. And as you can see, just this is the process of building the pit and pillar trap. We're building up our walls at the moment. I got a level for miscellaneous crafting, so I got a point for miscellaneous crafting, and then I leveled up from it. I have no idea how that particular frame fell. It shouldn't allow you to place frames where there's no support for them. And literally it doesn't allow you to place frames where there's no support for them. For some reason it did. And I've just done the miraculous thing of running out of wood yet again. So this you'll see is pop the frame down, hop across the ladder, and we can go up to where I've got my exit form. And we'll just come straight out through the exit. So I'll grab some more wood, and I'll see you when we are constructing the lid. Hello everyone and welcome back. So as you can see, we have gotten up to the top where we have our wooden lid. I'm just going to put down one more set of frames because I'm three below the top. I'm going to pop down frames all the way around. We are going to upgrade these frames. We're going to make a few more frames because I'll need a bunch more frames. There we go, 9 more on there. And that will give us what I want, which is I want to turn this pit trap temporarily into a platform. You may have noticed that I've been carrying some cobblestone around with me. I crafted that cobblestone a while ago, and I've also been carrying some cobblestone frames. And that is because I'm going to be making the surround lid, the sort of rim of the pit trap, out of cobblestone, because I want it to be reasonably tough, because zombies are going to take the occasional swing at it. And I want it to protect me from zombies falling down the side. Now the advantage I have is because I've built this ring, zombies aren't going to slowly dig their way down around the edges. What they're going to do is they're going to dig through the floor, and if they dig through the floor, then we've got basically the equivalent of a side pit trap. The pit traps are going to... The pit trap has this ring around it where they can fall down outside of the pit trap, and they're going to take fall damage anyway, and most of the zombies are going to immediately die. Those ones that don't immediately die are going to be nice and weak. So even if a zombie does dig through the floor and fall down outside the pit trap, it shouldn't be too much of a problem for me to deal with them nice and quickly. Be a little bit careful. I accidentally tapped E and picked up a frame. You don't want to go falling down random holes. Now, as with when we didn't have a lid on this and I had zombies jump in and basically try and eat me, this is a risky point because zombies can detect me because I'm nice and high up, and zombies can jump down on top of me. The way to deal with that is basically to back off to the edge and start ripping up the platforms from underneath them, ripping up the frames from underneath them so that they can fall down into the pit and die. It's not too much of a problem. So I'm going to take out these edges and then I'm going to start replacing them with cobblestone, and then I'm just going to finish off. You don't want this too deep gap all the way around the top at the end, but I'm going to finish that off right at the end so that I've got space to move around at the moment. Again, if I had a deeper trap and I was confident that my trap was deep enough to instant kill zombies even without the 3 blocks at the top, this is the point where I'd start making my slope outwards. Basically, I would dig a ring where I'm standing. I would dig a ring out. I'd put slopes coming in, probably made of cobblestone. I'd then dig another ring out and put slopes coming in. I'd dig another ring out, put slopes coming in. Because zombies move faster going down slope than they do going up slope or going on the level. And because they move faster going down slope than they do on the upslope or on the level, it actually makes it more likely that they're just going to careen straight down into the pit when they're running. Because strange enough, when they're running, they do seem to have some weird lack of control issues and do kind of overstep the bounds if they're moving too fast. Which is why I aim to... Can't get at that one in the corner. Which is why I aim to have this kind of snarlack pit entrance, this kind of sloped-in entrance at the beginning. But I didn't have enough time to do the depth. In reality, looking at the time of day, looking at how far I've gotten with the pit trap, I probably would have had time to do another 3 blocks worth of depth and actually have my sort of snarlack pit entrance. I'm going to dig this out because I need access to my ladder, of course. And I broke my shovel. I'm just going to finish off with this. That's really slow. That's a lot faster. Okay, so the hammer works. The hammer is weird because the hammer seems to do decent damage to everything. The hammer doesn't seem to be one particular thing. It seems to be pretty hefty damage with anything, whether it's dirt or stone or wood or metal. It seems to just be able to kind of cross platform or cross material very, very easily. Not quite sure why. Interesting choice by the designers to allow the hammer to basically be a jack of all trades. Which means that if you are building very nice tools and you can afford a hammer very easily, then the hammer is actually not a bad choice if you are going on a low carry. So if you're going to do a massive raid of somewhere where you know there's lots of material that you want to be bringing back, lots of items you want to be bringing back, then just taking a couple of hammers with you means you've got something that'll cut wood, you've got something that'll cut stone, you've got something that'll cut metal, all quite efficiently. You won't get as much wood or metal or stone out of what you're using because, of course, it's not a sort of specialist mining tool, but if you're just digging through to try and get to packets of resources like chests or storage containers, then it's not a bad idea. Now it's getting quite late, and I certainly don't want to be up here at night. There was a... I heard something then. I'm sure I heard something then. But you don't want to be up here when it's late, because of course zombies are going to be and get you. This isn't like when we were down at the bottom of the pit, where we had enough distance from spawning zombies that they weren't going to notice me. This is very much a situation where I don't want to be up here at night time, so I'm going to do what I can before it's night, and then I'm just going to basically retreat down. And this will be a night where I'm just going to be crafting things basically and not really paying much attention to the outside world, so to speak. Zombie. Yes, we now have a zombie, so hopefully I'll be able to show you. So, knock it backwards down the hole, and there we go. He's fallen down the hole, and that should have been a nice death. Now that signified to me that like things are spawning, it's almost time for things to start running. I don't want to be playing here right now, so I'm going to get the collar set up. I'm going to put frames down to encourage things to fall into the pit trap, just in case anything does become a problem. And then I will finish off the pit trap at the beginning of day 7. So we've got enough frames that I can just clean this up and finish this off. So the frames might get damaged during the night, but that's not a massive problem for me. I don't mind that much. And we are going to shimmy our way all the way down to the bottom. And he didn't actually die from landing on the wood. He died landing on, probably he clipped the edge of something on the way down, because he landed on the straw, which should have been survivable, but he did clip the edge of something on the way down probably. Now what I'm going to spend the night doing is I'm actually going to spend the night down here digging out these corners and making it so that I can run around the edge of my pit and pillar trap. This is the final bit of the pit and pillar trap, is kind of the actionable area at the bottom. You have to have enough space around the pit and pillar trap for you to move, because of course you can't reach all of the pit and pillar trap from anywhere. You have to be able to reach the... I have to break the ladder to do this. You have to be able to reach the pit and pillar trap from all sides, so that any zombie that falls in can get jumped on and hammered if it survives. So it's not going to go dismantling your pit and pillar trap. So I'm going to spend the night digging out around the pit and pillar trap, and I will see you all in the morning when we finish off the build. So it's coming up on the morning. We've dug out a ring pretty much the entire way around the pit and pillar trap. I'm just digging out a little bit more space on this backside, so that I have enough space to do a little bit more movement, a little bit more rapid movement. Because during the Horde night, we're not going to be crouching, we're not going to be moving slowly, we're going to be running around like twits, basically. Get a club building so that I've got something to hit things with. We're also going to build a couple of secure storage chests, because for those of you who know what's called know how to use farm traps, what you're going to do is you're going to be raiding zombies as they die, and as they die you're going to be throwing whatever you've raided into a box, and sometimes you can get lucky. On one particular Horde night, I think it was night 14, I came away with 48 rifle rounds, 29 pistol rounds, and a couple of magnum rounds. And that was just the ammunition. I also came away with a massive pile of clothing, and I think I came away with 2 torches. So you can be really, really lucky. But we're just going to build a few storage chests, and we're going to put them at the corners of the pit trap, out of reach of zombies who do spawn. We don't want the zombies destroying the chests and exploding items everywhere. So we're just going to pop them 1, 2, 3. That should be enough. Might have put a 4th for sort of structure's sake, but as you can see I've also put some hay on top of that pillar to the left there, so that I can use the pillar to the left as a place to drop down. I'm going to head back to the base now, going to gather some bits and pieces, and we'll probably work on the top of the pit and pillar trap from the top. But I might also pop to the cellar. I might also pop to the trader, because I kind of do want to grab some more food, because I've gone through the food that I gathered. I've gone through the I've gone through the meat that I got from the deer on the way back. So I want to pop up to the trader and I want to see if I can get some more food to keep me through day 7. The advantage of having a trader nearby, of course, means I have everything I need to gather food, because I can always buy food as long as I'm getting stuff. See if I can sell my forge maybe, because I've got the extra forge. What I do want for the night is I want clay and sand, which you can see I've got for repairing adobe. I also want this grown? No, not grown. I also want some scrap iron for repairing my scrap iron spikes. I'm going to head round to the south slightly, and then I'm going to head east to get to the trader. The reason being is I want to go somewhere I haven't been before. I want to go a direction I haven't been before, in the hopes of finding some nests, getting some more arrows, getting everything set up in sense, so that I have the arrows and things needed. But I'm going to gather some materials, going to head, see if I can get some feathers, and I'll meet you all at the trader. Okay, so we're going to see what we can buy and trade. These things have quite a high listed value, but I'm guessing that's with full durability. Yeah, that's with full durability. They're worth nearly nothing when they have no durability. So one thing you have to look at the base value is you have to look at the base value as being part of a 100 durability item. He's back to buying stone from me, so I'm just going to empty out as much stone as I can, because might as well. I don't need the leather. I don't really need, well, lots of things. What I do, however, need is I do need some... He's got nearly no food. Great, so he refreshed his inventory, and his refreshed inventory contained pretty much no food. Lovely. There's not really anything. I don't have the improved secret stash, so I can't really even gain anything from the secret stash. If you have the ability that gives you the improved secret stash, there's usually some decent items in the secret stash, but no. Oh well, that's that then. He's got a really good wrench, but it's quite expensive. So that was I've got 4 eggs, which will give me a little bit of food. I'll head back, see if I can grab some meat on the way back. Might spot a deer, and I will meet you back at the pit trap. So I was super lucky and spotted a deer on the way back. I took a little bit of a detour to do that. I grabbed some sand, grabbed some gravel, spotted a deer, killed the deer, cut it up. Got a little bit of meat. So we've got some eggs, we've got some bacon, or got some meat. So we can make some eggs and bacon. We can also make some charred meat, and we can make some more tallow for some more torches. So get everything set up there. I've got cloth somewhere. Don't need any of this stuff on me. And I'm basically setting myself up now for for the night of day 7. So I'm putting on helmet, I'm getting all of my repair materials set up, I'm making torches, I'm putting away anything I don't need to carry with me, and I will meet you at the trap and we'll finish off the lid. So here we are, we have stripped out everything. We are going to finish off making the cobblestone roof. And then we're going to finish off the wooden lid. It's pretty much everything you've seen before. We dig out the wood, we put in the cobblestone, we turn it into cobblestone. This just gives us a nice 1200 damage lid. Things are going to be running around on top more than they're going to be hitting it, so it should be reasonably sturdy. It's only if things get caught that they're going to start smacking it very hard. I'm going to try and make a drop down, and this is why you want to make the drop down. You don't want things getting caught on the edge of blocks. You want a nice smooth slope inwards so that they're just kind of running straight in. If I had time, a nice big platform at the top leading to a three block slope. So block downwards, block downwards, block downwards, slope into the center of the pit would be my ideal. But I don't have time for the big open platform at the top, and I don't have time for the 3 block slope. I don't really have the depth for the 3 block slope either. So our 30 deep pit is just going to have to be a 30 deep pit, and I will try and improvise a slope at the top. So I'm going to finish off by reinforcing the edges here, just in case they do dig down. Zombies have a weird kind of ability to calculate what's the quickest way to get to you. That's one of the reasons why zombies usually beeline for doorways or windows. So reinforcing this bit here just does encourage them to go towards the pit, because it does seem to be the easiest way to get to me. So I'll finish this off, and then I will show you what I'm going to do with the slope up above. So this sign really does just need to go, because this sign is in the way. But as you can see, I've put a wooden ring around the pit. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do slopes up and down. Zombies walk up slopes reasonably happily. So I'm going to do a slope up and down around the pit, and hopefully that will act as the sort of entrance to my Snarlack pit. Little bit concerned that we might get a problem with crawlers getting caught on the slope, but this is the best I can do with the depth of pit I have. This does just give me that extra block of depth rather than having the slope be where the cobblestone is. This gives me that extra little bit of depth. It means that I do have a slope, which should encourage zombies to fall in. And this is basically going to be the end of the build. So I have a little bit of time left, not a huge amount of time left, but a little bit of time left on day 7. And this is a 7-day pit and pillar trap, down to a 30 block depth, with adobe pillars and scrap iron, spikes, and without any real difficulties. I had one death caused by the fact that I was too stupid enough not to lid off the trap. So that's a lesson for anyone watching this, and a lesson for me. Always, even when you're rushing, put a lid on the trap. It doesn't take that long to build a lid. And that will protect you when you are digging the trap during the day and the night. But otherwise, this has been a pit and pillar build. So in the next episode, what we're going to do is we are going to go to the night of day 7, and we are going to watch what happens to poor innocent zombies that fall into my devious and dirty trap. Thank you all for watching. I will see you all in the zombie horde. Bye.